Hey guys, it's Merrick, and I've got another gameplay commentary for you here today. This one, we're yet again on Planetside 2, on TR, this time using the Unity. The Unity is TR's Araxium AR, and there's pretty much nothing not to like about it. It's got a reasonable time to kill because it's based on the Cycler, and it has really good recoil even when running the Cure Launcher. For the rest of the medic loadout, we're running what I would consider to be relatively standard. There are other things you could run, but those are more specialized in specific things. Running Assimilate for the headshots, and Combat Sergeant for the energy regen combined with the damage reduction from small arms seems to be pretty all around and can work in any situation. On the Unity itself, I'm running short barrel because the gun has really good recoil, so adding extra vertical recoil to it doesn't really hurt that much, and it helps with the hipfire. And I have high velocity because obviously I put that shit on everything, so shouldn't be surprised there. I tried to cut this as short as possible, but it still ran over the average time, so we're going to be doing this in two parts. But we start this session off at the Auger, where it seems like I've showed up just as the fight is ending because I make it through the entire building and out to the front before I finally see even a few people. And by a few, I mean two. The fight was already ended, and they were just trying to reestablish what they never managed to, so I pick up 2 kills while I'm roaming around trying to see if there's anything left here before I finally head off to somewhere else. This somewhere else winds up being Sungri, where I also seem to have shown up at an odd time. I can't tell if it's just after or before a push, but they seem to be setting up for a second push, so I drop a C4 through the window, catch somebody as they're coming up, and then position off to the side to make sure that I can get kills on them as they push out. I'm able to pick up one as he pushes out, and then I just whiff a bunch of shots and lightly bruise a few others, before eventually the light assault that I see forward angrily shows up with a shotgun on the flank. By the time I get back up, they've taken the Chevron building, and because I can possibly get flanked from people coming out of the main entrance that they have by their sunder on the left, so I stay back here on the staircase and try to make sure I have a wider angle farther from the corner so that I can get an advantageous fight when they try to peek. But seems like we have a good hold here, and we have some air to ground trying to shoot into the building, so I'm not too worried, and I am able to take out a few of them as they peek out right into the open, drop a resonade for the shield and the regen, but by the time those guys get up and we push into the building, Chevron's completely cleared, air to ground completely nukes the fight, and I head off to eonbolab, where I run around for a little bit before I finally find a ball of red that's trying to push into blue territory. I pick up 1 kill and try to rotate around to the side, figuring I'll pick up this point while they're gone. I managed to win a CQC fight against 2 people as I get onto point, and as I go to peek this guy on top of the staircase, there's more there than I thought, and I get hit from the flank anyway. By the time I get back, there's another large blue push, so I just set up with the TR and try to hold it as best we can. I play more of a medium assault medic than a traditional medic, so I'm out here aggressively trying to take angles and fights, and when I see somebody get damaged, I'm popping up my area heal and occasionally dropping a cure launcher on them. However, the situation makes it pretty obvious that we can't push up just yet, so I'm kind of just holding the position, trying to pick these guys off as they push forward and keep the healing going where I can. I kill somebody as they're pushing up to the server and just try to keep slowly cutting the angles so that I can get all the fights that I can. An infiltrator appears on that console, and I back off, dropping the cure launcher because it's faster to heal me than it is to have the area of effect on. And with that Daimos, Helios, whatever the new flaming thumper wannabe is, it actually out-heals the AoE heal, so not only does cure launcher cleanse it, but would out-heal it just to top me off faster anyway. But as we get collapsed on, I manage to get taken out. However, somebody does res me, so first thing I do when I get up is drop a resonade to pick everybody up. I dodge another nade that comes in from God knows where, drop another resonade, and because I know I'm one of the only people up, I push out to this corner to start taking fights to try to buy us some space. I'm able to buy enough space on my end, and we have enough people fighting on the other end that I do manage to get most of them up, but shortly thereafter, before I'm fully recovered, they eat a massive frag nade, potentially with a C4, and most of them go down again. Thankfully, somebody else has a resonade this time, and I just kind of hold the area while they get up. Despite that somewhat crazy stabilization, the fight promptly ends thereafter as the point finishes ticking and we get the cap, and I have to go somewhere else, which leads me to Raven's Landing. I spawn, run all the way to point without really seeing anything, but between the cap and the beacon I know there's some people inside. As I go to push up to take the corner, there's a max. I try to drop a C4 on it, and I whiff, so I try to be more aggressive to throw the C4 in deeper, but there's a lot of purple guys in there. I whiff the C4 and don't kill anything, but as I go to re-peek, I catch someone on a very tight angle as they stand off to the side, get to that, take the momentum, and push a little farther in, taking out 2 more before I have to back off and reload. I cancel my reload with a resonade because I see a good opportunity, so when I go to push in yet again, I just have to immediately back off. I pull out my commissioner, expecting them to push me, but as he pushes me, I'm able to get the Kami knife trade and have to run back. However, when I run back, I throw a perfect nade that bounces directly off the caltrop and back at me, so I'm forced to throw a second nade, which is also pretty terrible because it hits the server and bounces back, missing most of the people I wanted to hit. I try to push up, see that there's some guys under the server, and I try yet again to get another resonate out before I die. Thankfully, somebody else threw a resonate as well, so we pretty much pick up everybody that went back down, and I play a little farther back, try and get everybody up with my last nade, and see if I can't get a wider angle to make sure that I take these fights, rather than just being out in the open and dying for free like I did earlier. With that last res though, it seems like we were able to wrest control of the point yet again, and I run around trying to get some reses when they begin to drop back in for a repush. I pick off a few of them through the door while I have ammo, and then when I have to reload, I back off and look for some reses rather than just trying to continue playing aggressively. My first thought is, if they're no longer pushing through the front door, where else do I have to be worried about? So I check the balcony, then when I see the balcony's clear, I back up and start getting these reses. Toss out a few reses, then I help join the push as they go pushing toward the Thunderer. I try to take a position along the railing, taking some longer range shots, but I start getting tagged from someone I don't see. I swap to my cure launcher for an instant heal, but it's actually on cooldown because I never reloaded it earlier, so I just wind up murdering myself when I potentially could have made it out. Getting back into the point though, I no sooner get back inside than somebody drops in and swings on me. I'm barely able to win that, and then as I'm trying to get another hand res, someone pushes in the back door of the balcony. I'm able to take him out with the commissioner, and at that point, the fight has moved back to eonbolab, where I spawn in on a router and immediately fucking die. Realizing that might not be the fight that I want, I instead spawn at the gate and take my ass all the way over the jump pad to the other biolab, hoping for a better fight there. But as I push into the A point, I take a questionable fight with someone over the rock as somebody pushes at me, and because the guy swung close, there's really no chance for me to out DPS him, and I have to jump back yet again. This time, we're being held a bit better at the gate, so I decide to be a bit more careful with my angles and see what I can do to try to open this up a bit. I start slowly cutting the angle, taking fights with anybody that I can see, bit by bit working my way into actually being able to push past here. I'm able to pick off a guy on the upper balcony or the roof, then I go for a res on a guy close to me, but someone else has it. As I'm backing off to reload, trying to figure out if I think we can actually push into this point, I decide to look down at where we, on the minimap earlier, saw a Sunderer, and I see two purple dots running around, so I decide to be annoying. I'm able to pick one of them off, and the other one manages to hide behind the tree until somebody else finishes them off. I dance around for a little bit as we've lost the point, but TR still hasn't made any progress in pushing through this choke, but that doesn't stop TR. As they finally make a little bit of a footing, I begin to push up with them, and I catch a phantom nade that I never saw before, run it back, and push into the banana building on the side. I wait for somebody to walk around behind me. They don't actually do it, so I go to push up the stairs, and not only do they push at the worst possible time, but they also happen to be a max. So I push up the stairs as fast as possible, because I have no other choice, and run straight into an infiltrator that's ready, then decide maybe there are better fights to go to. I test my luck at Lithcorp Secure, where I have to chase around an infiltrator for a little bit, but when nobody else really shows up, I then wind up having to go off to Zealous Northgate for the final fight of this video. I've got to start bringing this video to a close with 40 kills in 25 minutes. It's not exactly 2 KPM, but we spent a lot of time that I had to cut out, jumping between fights and showing up at what looked like fights only for it to be dead or already over. I don't think there were a whole lot of absolutely massive mistakes besides just playing too far forwards for a medic. Even though I'm playing it more like a medium assault, I could have spaced myself a little better to give myself more rotation paths rather than having to take fights that I'm going to absolutely have to commit to. I also could have done better with managing the reloads on my cure launcher and usage of my resonades, both as reses to sustain the push itself and more on a personal level to peek and make sure that I have the damage reduction when I am doing so. There's more that I could have improved on that you'd likely be aware of if you've watched my other videos. Again, remind that there's going to be a part 2 to this video, but I gotta wrap it up. So, as always, let me know what you do like, let me know what you don't like, let me know what you think so I can improve my videos moving forwards. Thank you guys for your continued support, and I'll see you next time.